Kendrick Lamar. I feel like it's only right? Okay. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday, and welcome to another week of Mace Radio. It's your girl, Jerusalem Diva. I'm the founder and CEO of MaceTV.com, and this is our online radio platform, Mace Radio. This week, I have my co-host in studio with me. We have Miss Damila King Mila on Instagram with the bun. I love it.
Thank you.
And we got Alex212 at Alex.212 on Instagram. I like it. In the little Nike tracksuit. I like it, the sweatsuit. And then we have our guest in studio today. Today, we're going to be sitting down with a group of beautiful and very elegant ladies. That's what I get from all of your pictures. And what they do is they are educators of ancient African royalty. And they do this through song, dance, acting, and theater. And they go around and they help educate and everyone. We can't just say the youth because everyone can get from them the real history of significant 5 African queens. For now, until exactly. So we're going to be sitting down with you beautiful ladies, and we're going to find out your mission, everything that you have going on, what we can look forward to, and how we can even have you, anyone who will want to have you come in and speak or whatever. We'll get all that information. And then we're going to be talking about some really good topics that I'm glad you ladies are in the studio with us because there's a lot of debate going on. Trinidad James was on CNN just the other night and having the very infamous debate at this point over the N-word, the use of the N-word. Should it be used? Should we do away with it? Why do rappers profit off of the use of this word? And then in relation to that video of those fraternity boys and the fraternity mothers saying the original N-word. That's what I like to call it. That also too, yes, Dame Dash was at the Breakfast Club, and he shed a lot of light in a very angry way. Yes. But he shed a lot of light on, entrepreneurs, business in general. It got very heated, but it raised a debate. Everybody's been talking about it on my Facebook, on my Instagram, on all social media. So we're going to talk about it again today. And especially for Black culture, we need to tackle this issue because in regards to entrepreneurship, it has been something that's kind of skipped over our culture for a while. And now, you're seeing more Black business owners and entrepreneurs, and we got to have this conversation. So we'll be talking about that. Also, Kendrick Lamar's album came out. Is this like Afrocentric? I just feel like, if you listen to Kendrick Lamar's album, I feel like it's for your queens. It's your queens.
It's working. He makes you want to change.
To pimp a butterfly. So we're going to get, and this is coming from, I am a diehard Kendrick fan. I'll tell you why, all of that and more. But trust me, we have a lot to talk about. Also, the video of those girls who jumped the other girl in McDonald's.
Yes.
A white radio personality in Texas said, it's stuff like this that shows that Black people don't think that Black lives matter. Let's have that conversation. Is that true? It's kind of a part of what I had already said when I first saw the video, but let's have that conversation and more. Call us up today, 516-900-CAST. That's 2278. Visit us online. If you go to our website, you should be watching us through our Ustream, MaceTV.com. Go to the Mace TV, Mace Radio link and to our chat room. And follow us at Mace TV, at Jocelyn Diva, at King Mila with a Y.
With a Y.
At Alex.212 and at It's Your Queens. Yes. All right. So we're going to get into some music right now. It's only right to kick the show off with some Kendrick Lamar, The Blacker the Berry, The Sweeter the Juice. Okay. Yeah. You can hear my Spotify.
Let's take over here. How was everyone's day? Great.
Yes.
Always great. I woke up. Yeah. You know, like that whole, and I'm here now, like, meanwhile, I'm like, yeah. Before. Okay, so I've been in the car since 4:30. So I have to take that off and
Yes, grab a seat.
I'm the biggest hypocrite in 2015. Once I finish this book of pages, what I mean it's evident that I'm irrelevant to society. That's what you're telling me. Penitentiary would only hire me. Curse me till I'm dead. Church me with your fake prophesizing that I'm a be just another slave in my head. It's institutional lies, but the relation is reciprocation of freedom.
Oh yeah. Oh, because we're on YouTube. When you stream, they can't even really hear the music that way. And they mostly hear us in the studio. That's not bad. Hey. Yeah, shout out Haki. Because I always feel like people are so bored. Speed in the juice. All right. So, we are going to start off talking about. Okay. We're just going to talk about the. Did you listen to the Kendrick album? Only because I didn't really like it. Did any of you listen to the Kendrick album? Okay, it's fine. So we'll only spend like about 3-4 minutes talking about that, and then we're gonna go into the N-word debate. Okay. So right when we get back. Who?
When I put it up on Instagram, like, the clip, the photo, I was trying to do it in Israel. He was like, what?
Oh my God.
That's how you feel?
Yeah, right?
I was like, what the
That's funny that they can hear us.
Okay, let me know. I will.
What is it? It's like fashion.
Yeah, I'm working in the office. I'm Brenda Runway. I'm assistant on office. Yeah. If you run it right here, let me know. I can go now. What is it? I have everything. I think it's 30 everything. Yeah. And then we got people selling them for like that.
Maybe you can like sometimes I want to start doing more giveaways for the show.
Oh, that would be good.
So anything you think that we could probably like, like have it that maybe like a contest or something to do just get more people to let me know. Okay. All right, we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I just feel like it's only right. You know, we had to start off with Kendrick. What else was there to do? So to Pimp a Butterfly, it dropped secretly. That's the new way of dropping albums now. You don't give us the date. You don't drop a first single. You don't let us prepare for the album. You just drop the album at midnight, and I got to figure out from my damn timeline the next day. Because apparently, when did he drop it? What, today's Wednesday, so he dropped it Monday?
Wow.
And I was just going through my timeline. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I went when I got home, because I was just gonna, and I'm a Kendrick fan, so it's like I still feel like, okay, you need to buy the album. But I was like, well, let me go listen to it first. So I got home, I listened to it on Spotify. But my boyfriend, because we always have these big debates. He's more of a Drake fan. I'm more of a Kendrick fan. Because he was more of a Biggie fan, I was more of a Tupac fan. He was more of a Jay fan, I was more of a Nas fan.
Yeah,
so it's like, the people that are really more into the content of what you're saying, you'll appreciate a Kendrick Lamar. I feel like Kendrick Lamar, it's weird, but it's like my way. I feel like it's like a new form of like a gospel hip hop type. If you listen to what he's saying, like I just don't feel like anyone has ever had any people say the Lord's Prayer at the beginning of a song, but he was able to do that with his last album. It's truly artistic, and the things that the content that he covers on his songs, when thinking about ideally where hip hop started, its roots, and who primarily listens to hip hop, this is what we need to hear. But Drake gives you what you want to hear. And that was the quote that was going around once the album dropped. It's like, Drake gives you what you want, Kendrick gives you what you need. Because, don't get me wrong, everybody loves, if you're reading this, it's too late. That's great. But it's still just like, Kendrick is touching on some serious topics. Definitely. I think one popular song was the one where he interviewed Tupac at the end of the song. So it's like he took one of Tupac's old interviews, and it's like he put his voice in it as if he was asking him questions. Ooh,
amazing.
Super sick.
Yes.
However, just my take from it, I felt like the content of what he's saying is real. Like, you need to hear that. The lyrics all day, you already know Kendrick has bars. He's lyrically nice. It's just that I feel that the sound of the album, it was just a little, like it didn't really hit you the way his Section 80 mixtape did, the way his Good Kid, Mad City did. And what I was thinking, and I was just like, maybe it was the beats. And that's really what it was. These beats are very like, you're in a jazz club, sipping on some cognac, and just having like a intellectual conversation. And I think that's what he wanted to do with this album. But at the same time, with all the competition out there, it's like he definitely needed to get some Dr. Dre beats. Get some J. Cole beats, just like you did before, so.
But we gotta appreciate it.
I think it's dope. I think it's dope to highlight a different kind of sound. I think that's what continuously puts him in a separate lane, and not to keep up with the Joneses. And maybe highlight some other producers out there, which is positive. And Dr. Dre, we know what we're gonna get.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think I applaud him for that.
Definitely.
I always support indie artisans, because that's what we all are.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So more power to him.
Yeah. So
Kendrick.
if you feel differently, we have the chat room feature under our Ustream. Let us know what you think. Hit us up on our Instagram. Somebody's texting me now with their feedback. Text us too. You can let us know, what do you think? Are you feeling Kendrick's new album or not? And if you are, why or why not? Let us know.
I just wanted to add something. I mean, I haven't listened to the album, but when you think of music that coming to beats, people always go directly when they hear a good beat. They just listen to the beat and that's it, without listening to the words.
You're right.
Yeah.
So maybe he's trying to go in a different direction.
Yeah, he wants you
listen
to
to my
focus.
words and not my beat.
Focus.
Focus
Yes.
on the word.
But
Listen.
ladies,
Yeah.
when you hear the album, then I want to have this conversation again, because it's literally like, yes, because the beat isn't that popping, you want to hear what he's saying, but and then it's Kendrick. So then it's like you literally have to I need to cover my ears and close my eyes so I can catch every word he's saying, so I can understand the song. So that's what I'm saying, is that because music is music, it's supposed to flow. You're supposed to flow through the song. The beats don't. It's not like that, and so it's like then you're paying attention to his lyrics, and it's like it's a bit much. So it's like because I do love everything he was saying on the songs, I would have liked it put together in a way that would have made people feel it more. Like, yeah, like have these kids out here. The way he did with Black of the Berry, like that beat was so dope, and the way he did it was so dope that it's like now you're gonna have white people like the Black of the Berry, the Sweet, but you don't really get it that much. There's a few songs on there, but out of 16 songs, I was like a bit bored.
Got it.
If you feel differently, call us up 516-900-CAST. So we're actually about to get into this video of there was the recent debate on CNN with Trinidad James. So the reason Trinidad James came to the play, because when's the last time we said Trinidad James?
Exactly.
Okay.
How did Trinidad get on CNN in the first place?
I mean,
Well,
he
because
got thrust back into the spotlight because the footage of the grandmother saying the words from his song.
Okay.
So I asked him how he felt about it.
Yes.
Exactly.
He had his hair pressed and everything.
Very
He
neat.
was ready.
He was on CNN.
He was ready.
He was clean. He was clean.
Looking like Pootie Tang. I was so upset. I was like, really?
His hair was laid to the side. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right? That's a whole nother twist. Yeah, we feel representing your country.
So once we get the video ready, we're gonna play it. But okay, so pretty much what it was, like Alex said, the SAE fraternity boys. It was a big scandal last week.
Yeah.
They were singing a traditional racist chant. Now, what I love is how it goes from us paying attention to the fact that it's 2015. There's people still, kind of highlighting racism. And then when the lady, their frat mother, had saw the video, she was like, "Oh, that's horrible." So I guess one of them wanted to blackmail her. So they put out that old video of her. She was the part of Trinidad James' song when he goes, Alex.
Oh, you gotta let me say it. That's fine.
Do it, Alex. You know
nigga.
There you go. So he says that, but now, when you get somebody who's 80 years old from Alabama, I don't think she's going to say it the same way. I think she's going to say it how she knows to say it.
Yeah.
And it sounds extremely different. So do we have the ready? No? Okay. So when she said it, it was just sound wrong. It was just like, nigga. It sounded like, back those old movies when it was like they were chasing the black person and they'd be like,
it just sounds different.
That's how it just. Here we go. So let's see this video.
When we know how divisive this word is, why we would not have people like you, Trinidad, who are, but you're a community. Your people look up to you. Young people look up to you, and you're rapping about the word and making money on it, and they think they should be rapping the word and saying the word as well.
Hold on for 1 second, Mark. You can get in after him. Let Trinidad respond. Ben, you see, you're giving the word too much power. I am making money off of doing music. I'm not using it. I am making money off of doing music and being creative, sir. I'm not making money just because I use the N-word. Nobody goes to buy an album because it's full of the N-word.
Trinidad,
no, sir.
You wouldn't be on this show tonight if it wasn't for using the N-word in your rap music. Let's be honest.
Go ahead, Mark.
First of all, you wouldn't be on the show if a white woman hadn't said the N-word on a tape. So that's not fair. We're putting the burden on him.
Okay.
There we go.
That was perfect. So one of your guesses is at the door. So after hearing that, what do you think? The one guy had a point. The Caucasian man was pretty much saying, you say the N-word on your songs, you popularize it. Why is it an issue when they're saying it? Then Trinidad James is like, I'm making music. You're talking about a lady who was saying it racist in a video. And then what's his name? Mark Lamont Hill, right?
Yeah, that guy.
Mark Lamont Hill kind of rebutted that and said, no, we're only talking about this because a white lady was saying the N-word racistly. So, with all of that being said, and we saw the original video of the chant being said by the boys, and then you hear what they're saying. To me, I just, I get it, but at the same time, I just don't get it. Like, okay, now, because you heard these boys saying it in a racist connotation way. You want to bring up Trinidad James, and, you want to bring up how hip-hop guys say it, and so if they say it, then I feel like it's a cop-out by Fox News.
I definitely look at the two instances in two different lights. Them chanting in a bus versus her singing the song is a little different to me. There's no set rules established necessarily for white people singing rap lyrics. I mean, because whether we like it or not, forget black culture, rap is American culture now. Yeah. So, kids that are born in 92, 93, they grew up listening to rap same way I did. It's kind of like you can't even pull I'm black, I can say it. It's like if they're singing the same song you're singing because they love it the same way you love it, what's the rules on that?
Yes. Yeah.
So I feel like that's where the grandmother comes in.
Yes.
Them on the bus, on the way somewhere, just howdy-ho down the road, singing the song, you gotta kind of put the brake on that. So.
I definitely just feel like even the way it was done was, you saw the video released of the fraternity boys saying what they were saying on the bus. All of a sudden they dropped that video, which was already 2 years old, of the lady singing the song. And it was their way again of making us question ourselves.
And they only dropped the clip of that.
They
part.
only dropped the clip of that part. You can't
verse.
see clearly that the lady was drunk. You know, she's singing Trinidad James song where he said exactly what she says. It just sounds different because, you know, she's 80 years old from the South. You know, but it's like, again, a way for them to divert the attention back on putting the finger on black people was to bring up and then have Trinidad James ass going up there looking like, why he had to go, at least go on this, why he had to go crazy?
Was queen.
Something. I have something that I wanted to say. I feel like, you know, when, okay, our times are different and the word has evolved. But I feel like, you know, when you're doing something that is wrong, there's a debate no matter what. If there's a debate, it must be wrong. There may be something deep down. And to like solve it, you should get rid of it. You know, of course, then we know the connotation in the 1800s, 1900s. Now it has evolved in a brotherly thing, but deep down it brings back all those memories.
Definitely.
So why don't we just do away and say
empower
peace,
ourselves.
king, peace, queen. You know,
what would be your way of making that transition? Because you know that's a pretty drastic transition to make at this time.
Just to be constantly aware. You know, always. Nothing's going to happen overnight. So just be mindful.
I would definitely say it comes down to education. Because pretty much what it is you have to think about it. A lot of these hip hop artists, they're not educated. They are, you know, they're coming from the street. They just grew up on the street. Their vocabulary is not that advanced. It's limited. And these are the ones that certain people are going out and giving $1 million to and signing them to a record deal, even if it's just for one single, like Trinidad James. So it's just like, how do you get someone like that to not use the N-word, because they're going to be the ones that can eventually grow up to become a Lil Wayne, you know?
But I don't think it's that though.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't even think it's that though, because at the end of the day, they know where the word came from. Even if you know nothing else, you definitely know where that word came from. Someone in your family has once told you where it started and why it started. But it's like we still choose to do it. So at the end of the day, it's just you gonna choose to do it, or are you gonna choose to let it go? Just like with anything else.
It comes from education, and also I'm a teaching artist, and I work a lot with kids in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, Bushwick, the Bronx, and their upbringing. If their parents are not fully educated and kind of talking ratchet and might come to me and say, I'm going to F you up. They almost don't know any different. That's what they're being taught. So as an educator, change comes within yourself. You know what I mean? You can't look at it for anybody else. So as all of us as artists, as indie artists, we know that we have to start with ourselves and apply that to the children and just have faith. And it's simple. The word it's not positive. It's not a positive word. Yeah, we can struggle and say, but no, rappers sing it or whatever. Like you said, what's wrong with saying king instead of nigga? At this point, as African Americans, as people, it's time to build ourselves up. I'm over it.
And we can give an example of a word that used to be regularly used, and now it's like if you say it, say the word fag. Say faggot. And you sound crazy. But watch a movie from like 1992 and they were like, oh, that fag. And I even was like, oh my gosh, she said fag.
Or even gay. Or even slang nowadays. Like you don't say fly. I mean, you know, if you're older. Oh, you're fly. You know,
it was able to kind of
go. You know, oh, that's hip or dope. Oh, we still say dope.
I mean,
but you know what I'm saying?
I've tried. I'm not gonna sit here and say like I don't just regularly use the word the N-word. You know, it is mostly I do use it in when I'm listening to certain music, just as a everyday part of my vocabulary. It's not something, you know, but sometimes it might come out just because it's like of our culture.
But like, no, sorry. Like you were saying before, I think it's something that we need to like train ourselves in the home. Like before the kids get to school, all that happens in the home. And like you said, it's something that slips out because it's in our culture, it's in mainstream, you know what I mean? But if you literally train yourself not to say that word, like everything else, it becomes a habit and then you won't say that word anymore. You know what I mean? And then you teach kids that are coming up, they won't even know what that word means and how to apply it in that way. You know?
Absolutely.
Alex?
Oh no, I was gonna say, I mean, I think I don't see the word decreasing in use over time. I'll tell you why. I think every generation that comes up, I think it's going to mean something different to them than it meant to a previous generation. Because for my little brother, what it means to him and like the context and how it's affected his life growing up compared to my mother or my grandmother, very different feelings. Could I understand more? My grandmother wouldn't like it compared to my mom, compared to my little brother to now. It's just like, to him, it's a norm. He grew up in Harlem. It's what everybody says. It's all the music he likes. He doesn't see it the way somebody older is going to kind of take that offense. He learns about it in school, but a lot of people don't realize how detached our new generation are from the struggles of our people once before. So I mean, that's why I don't see it going. I feel like it's too deeply embedded.
I mean, but it's possible. Like, there's a word, you know, and I feel guilty now because I'm going to bring up this example, and I'm like, you know what? If I could do it for this word, then I could do it for the N word. I will not allow my boyfriend to say bitch. If he's referring to a female, like I don't, and he does it, you know, freely because it's just how. Yeah, he'll be like, yo, that bitch is crazy, and I'll be like, don't call her a bitch, you know, just because I just don't even like hearing a man call a female a bitch. It just doesn't sound right to me. So it's like, why can I not? But I have been being, you know, more aware of it. But at the same time, I just feel like it's so deep rooted. I would literally be trying to fight air. If I'm trying to get people to stop saying this word around me, then you have to also worry about what if you are that person who it's like, you know, you don't like the word, you don't like using the word, but everyone around you's using the word, and now you look like you trying to be Ian Levan Zant over here, and now everybody's looking at you like, girl, shut up. Like don't
Not even. That's what you have to be.
But when we're talking to the youth, because that's who we're thinking of, that's pretty much what could happen, is that now they feel like, you know, it's going to be so difficult for them to stop using the word because they're afraid that they'll look corny.
Well, the thing about it is, if let's say we took away nigger and the word bitch tomorrow, we would still have to find words in place where we want to use these words that we use to describe our anger sometimes.
Yeah.
But those
now,
words
the new words
because they would probably be mother effer.
The new words are going to come in.
It's gonna
because if it's not those two words, we'll find something new.
And
then
that'll be the new
purpose
one
of these words.
But it might be better.
He called her a bugaboo.
What would be better? Because given like even the word,
there are friends
the
who
word
don't
thought
like
was
to
just
say
created.
it.
And thought, I bet you thought is gonna, because now it's taken to a whole new.
That word is so dumb.
Thought.
Yeah.
Which word?
Thought.
But it's
Put those negative connotations around whatever
it's
word.
taking on a life of its own, and I feel like eventually that could become something, because now it's like you're seeing, oh, this girl got jumped because they called her a thought, or this because of a thought.
Let's say bitch went away tomorrow and thought replaced it. The same connotation was surrounded it. That negativity, like, oh, she's like, you're trying to say the worst thing about a female, you use that word. But
I think the N word and calling someone a bitch, I think the N word is a way deeper meaning.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? Like it comes from so much hurt and pain. Like it's actual history behind that word, as opposed to the B word. You know?
Definitely.
But like he said, like, I mean, there's history behind it, but these kids don't know the history, and it will not affect them as much. So I can see it going away, but then again, I don't. You know, because it's too deeply rooted. You know, but we have to be positive. Like you said, you have faith. And what I've seen her doing recently was teaching her kids in class.
Oh yes, I love that
saying
video.
kings instead of the N word. I don't even say that word. You know,
to the point that even they still kind of say it, and they see me coming.
Yeah.
And they switch it up real quick. My bad.
But
It's
that's
like
a
you.
good
My bad.
thing.
Yeah, you know.
That is good. It's a good
And they're
thing.
picking it up. Exactly.
So imagine if all the teachers in America, all the
did
parents,
that.
all the all the teachers do that, then it can change. Instead of us, they know.
I was just gonna say that because I'm also a teaching artist, and I was inspired by Akiwa. So yesterday I had my class, and I asked them. I didn't say the nigger word, but I asked them what did it mean to them to be a king and queen. And some of the words and the things that they said were amazing. And I think we just need to take that extra step. You know, if I was called a bugaboo and I would be upset, but I would have to take that Rosa Parks stance. That, you know, no matter what, you know, there has to be a Rosa Parks in each generation. And we have become so complacent. And I'm not trying to say that I'm like this holier, like righteous person, because I'm definitely not. Behind closed doors, you know, we say we have fun, but those are behind closed doors. I think because you have a comment box and a like, you know, button, we have this right to say what we want to say. So if we have that right, use it for positive. It's so much negative things. I'm not
gonna lie. I actually wouldn't even. I would like hearing people saying "What up, my king." So
we should start it.
Let's just start it. Just some feedback. This is one of my friends, Harvey. He's from Harlem. And he said bro is the new N word. And that's actually true. You do hear more guys saying bro, what's good, bro, or you know, our bro. And then just his feedback on Kendrick Lamar to bring it back, because we're actually going to have to go into a music break. He said Kendrick is bringing his own sound like Jay did with his first album, Reasonable Doubt. So,
Which was his best album.
Which was his best album, yeah. So it is different. Like, if you listen to this album when you get some time on Spotify, it's different. It's nothing like you've ever heard in hip hop. So we're actually going to take a quick music break. When we come back, we are going to talk to your queens, and we've actually got to see a bit of your beautiful personalities, and you know, get a feel for what your mission is. But let's get some more insight on that. So right now we are going to go into Kanye West all day, and he actually says the N word quite often. It goes into what we were saying, because when he recently performed this song in Paris, Lindsay Lohan was so in the moment that she tweeted it out, and she was like, all day, niggas.
Wait, Lindsay Lohan?
Lindsay Lohan! So let's get into it right now. Kendrick Lamar, all day. Remember, hit us up with your feedback, all right?
Start the movement after this song.
So bad, all day. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Despite everything we just said.
What was I supposed to play, Tupac?
No, but I can't do
Niggas in Paris.
Sometimes I'm gonna call Amina.
Right, like, I like it. And now it's my next song. We gotta check out that. No, how about we play it?
I love your voice.
That's cute. Hi, Ryan. You didn't even give me a kiss.
I don't want to talk about this confession.
Maybe that long time. Hi, Lou.
What do you name? I'm sorry.
Alex.
Delilah.
I know. Denise. Dominique. Akiwa.
And Tintin.
Where are you from?
Like where I live?
No, like I hear like a little accent.
My mom's family is Chinese. My dad's British.
Wait, so where were you born?
I was born here. Yeah. Oh, I was born in Mount Kisco. Grew up in money earning in Alberta. I said I was way this was outside. And then I got educated.
Yo, that is lovely. I love it. I do. And Eki, where you from?
Where?
I am Dominican, West Indian, and Nigerian.
Anyone ever tell you you look like Estelle?
Really?
Yeah. Just like her.
My sister was more like her.
Yes, you do.
Really? So you're Dominican?
Nigerian, Dominican, and West Indian.
Wow. So who's who? Who's what?
My father's Nigerian.
And your mom's Dominican?
Where you from?
Texas.
Check out my
Hey, you wanna be? I mean, not that you're from Texas. I'm Houston.
I wait, like born and raised?
I was raised in New York though, but I'm from Texas. People always ask me.
I know you were like Yankee.
Yeah, I'm a Yankee. From Queens though, from Queens. But it's like because when I went to high school in Harlem, we were all over the place. No, I've gotten people be like, oh, most people think I'm from Brooklyn. I don't get that from you. What would you think I'm from Queens? Or like New York, but I wouldn't think Brooklyn. Like I would think city or Queens. I wouldn't think something just classic. I know. I didn't know that.
That's my favorite. Hey,
All right.
I definitely know about that. See, that's the
Yes, 2 minutes.
We're best friends. And Bashina that's my best friend. Like she went to her
I know, right? Like, yes, it's like a whole bunch of webs.
Yes. But Instagram is both of us.
Yeah, I turned the corner.
I did. And I'm excited to hear how this all got started. So that's what I'm gonna. Yeah. Because I really like this. And any questions y'all have, just kind of.
You know what I saw? I was like, oh my gosh, I just had like a vision and I was getting higher and I'm like, wow, how do you think that
Your
you guys, when I saw you talking, I was like, oh wow. I felt like Wendy. Wow. Because you're doing it on your own, you're not waiting for someone to give you opportunity.
No. What was you about to say, Denise? I love it. You was about to say something.
I'm gonna say something of how I love you. Your energy, like your strong will. Like
I just like energy. I just like energy. Who said that? She's spicy. I'm a Capricorn.
Capricorn,
no wonder.
We already knew that.
When's your birthday though?
December 30th. True Capricorn to the core. Thank you. All right. I feel like he always gotta go in with the instrumental at the end, like just I get you and you, man.
He gotta give you the flavor.
Yeah, like
you know why he Kanye.
He has to.
Oh my God.
Nah, don't talk about my son Kanye.
Wait,
My son Kanye came out the.
You gotta throw the head back when you do that.
Oh my God, I was going with it though.
I was so. And did you see all the way they made it over?
All the remixes.
You saw the wild jump over his tail.
Oh my God.
They took the theme song of all that from Nickelodeon.
That was hilarious.
I'm like, why? So I actually thought I used to think that Kanye could dance, but actually you think about it, you never really saw Kanye dance.
He can dance. He had a moment. He was feeling it. The music was so good.
I don't know.
If you was in the club, somebody started busting out that boy, I'd be like, oh.
They're recording a laugh.
Exactly. We're having so much fun in the studio with you ladies. So we're back. It's Mace Radio. Sorry, we kind of got sidetracked because the energy here is really positive. So it's your girl, Jurassic Diva, founder, CEO of Mace TV. We have Demila here, Alex, and our guests are a group of ladies. They call themselves Your Queens. Their mission is to evaluate, educate, and express the dynamic lineage of ancient African royalty. They want to teach the youth and adults about the historic legacy of African queens through storytelling, song, and dance. So now I want to know, we have 5 queens here. There's Queen Amina, Queen Cleopatra, Queen Makita, Queen Nefertiti, and Goddess Isis. Queens are important, kings are imperative, and royalty is in us all. That is so beautiful. Yeah. And I think I made it sound nice too. You did. I was like, oh, thank you. So ladies, so now let's tell us, how did this even get started?
I'll go in. This got started because of, I went to a birthday party, and while I was at that birthday party, this was like back in late October, early November, just as last year, a few months ago. And I sat there. It was beautiful. It was like a 5-year-old birthday party, and a lot of our children there, but they were running around fairy tale princesses.
Yes, and it's all the Disney princesses.
Yeah, as I sat there, I thought, wow, okay, I know why I'm here.
Yes.
It's to make a difference. So right away, I called my mother, I called Denise, I called my sister, Dominique, and I said, I have an idea. And as soon as we literally just went for it.
Wow.
We did our first shoot first meeting in November. We had other meeting in December. In January, we had our first project. And I'm so thankful that I'm not doing this by myself. I'm doing it with my best friends and with my family and friends. And it just felt like it's time. To the wake of so much going on in the world right now, a lot of negativity.
Yes.
And we can get caught up in that zone. Is for us to just make a change, a positive change. Not only for us, for our children, for our youth, for our mind, for our soul, for our future.
When I had gotten the press kit for this, it gave me goosebumps. because I was just like, oh my gosh, this is powerful what they're doing. What they're doing is, just imagine when you were in elementary school and if these ladies walked in and they did what they do. So give us a rundown of how, if you're going into someone's school or party, what can they expect?
Okay, I'll talk. This is Queen Nefertiti.
Yes.
Basically what we do is, like we said, our program is to empower young kids through storytelling and dance. So, we come out in regalia in our African costumes. First things first, like when the kids see us, they're like totally amazed. Kids, adults, everyone's totally amazed. So we go in and we tell stories about each queen, and let these kids know that these aren't Disney characters. They aren't fictional. These are real life women who lived, and we're descendants of these people. So we tell them about our queens individually, and then we have like a little song and dance that we do with the kids that we do ourselves. We teach the kids, and then we perform it together for the audience. And then we do head wraps and African face painting, and then we have instruments. We dance with them. So it's a really fun experience. And we always say that the kids have so much fun, but we have more fun than kids. Like we're in there with the drums, like laughing, and face painting, and having so much fun. So it's a great experience.
So give us just a little each queen. Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself, your character, and what someone, even an adult, can learn from your story? Yes,
Sure,
kind of go down.
So my name is Dominique, but I represent Queen Cleopatra, the seventh Thea Philippator, also known as Cleopatra. There are so many debates with Cleopatra, and we can always do that on a one-on-one basis. But what I've learned, that she really took her beauty and she learned how to use it in a positive way. And I call that her rhetorical art of seduction, because we have the thought words, right? But there's another way of power in where you can exude that and create change by using your beauty without having to disrobe yourself or, and I think that's what the image that I want to portray with Cleopatra, and not just talking about what she did. And, what she did, she had to do that for her dynasty. She had to marry these people. She had to do that for power, but she turned it into a positive. So that's Cleo.
All right.
This is Queen Nefertiti again. I'm Denise. And what I learned from researching about Queen Nefertiti is that she was unlike any other queen at that time. Basically, she was born in 1370 BC. She only ruled for about 12 years. But what made her really special is because her husband, Pharaoh Akhenaten, really allowed her to establish herself with power, unlike any of the women before. So she was allowed to be in meetings that, the kings had. And she was allowed to do certain things and put in certain laws that other queens couldn't do at that time. And her name actually means literally the beautiful one has come. So, as we know, her head bust, which we know is, the crown that she wears, represents, for Egypt, it's an iconic symbol for Egypt, but it represents globally femininity, power, beauty. A lot of cosmetic lines use her bust representation of them. And I also have a Nefertiti tattoo that I got like years ago. I've always
was even before
this project. This is like, so when Akiva came to me,
I asked her to be Nefertiti at 3-4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it happened to be her house one day, and she woke up out the dream and woke me up like, Denise,
that's how God works.
And I said, that's how God works.
That's how God. As soon as she said it, I was like, my tattoo. It was just like it all came together.
That is so powerful.
Exactly. So Queen Nefertiti, I've always looked up to her, just her beauty, and my grandmother actually used to have a Nefertiti chain back in the day. So I remember little things like that. So
but those are things that you want to remember as a child, like having seen your grandmother wear a chain like that it'll stick with you.
Exactly. So it was just God. Yeah. So it's just God.
And that actually kind of goes into, because I did want to figure out like how, after you three say who you are, how did you pick who would be who? So go ahead.
So I'm Eki, and I play Makeda, Queen of Sheba, and she was from 960 BC. I love her story because in a time now where, as African American women, where we're limited as artists to do one thing, and I've been an entrepreneur for over 15 years. Humbled about it, quiet. I'm learning to stand bolder into it and not worried about views or whatever it is. I love Makita's story because she was not only a woman of faith and wisdom, she was into music, astronomy, natural science, and it takes us back. We're celebrating Women's History Month, so it's like don't limit yourself. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't be all of those and do it. And this is your lifetime. Makita, her journey, she traveled over 1,000 miles to hear the wisdom of King Solomon. What's so deep about her story is in the Bible. It's also in
that's right. She is in the right. She was the one.
Yeah. And the Kibra Nagas, which is the Rastafarian Bible, the Glory to Kings. And having faith is like I've learned again as an artist, and as we are doing Your Queens, we're leaving a legacy for our future. And that's something that Makita did. Her legacy lasted over 3,000 years upon the death of Haile Selassie in 1975.
Woo! I love all this education I'm getting. Doesn't it just make you feel like
regal and queen like
and royal? You gotta help us wash out all this poison and toxic. Seriously, once you really realize that you've been it was around the time when I stopped eating like pork and red meat, and my body, I just started realizing like, oh my gosh, like I have been disrespecting my body for so long. And even listening to you ladies speak, it's just like, but this is what they wanted. They didn't want us to know all of our history.
Exactly.
Because then we really would be walking around here in the black and exactly. Had a tattoo on your forehead.
I see. But I forgot I wanted to add it, like one of the most important reasons why we're doing this is to know that we didn't come from slavery. We came from kings and queens.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
she did. I know you felt it, because I felt it.
I always knew deep down inside. I was meant to be in royalty, I've been
Now, who's here?
coming out over there.
Oh, God. Hello, my name is Timmy, and I am Goddess Isis.
Yes.
And she reigned from 2300 CE to 2100 BC. And I mean, she's just a woman full of faith. She married and her husband died, and she went back and bring him back to life. And
was she
twice.
able to?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And she also, that was her power, and she was also the goddess of love, goddess of magic.
Yes, that's
So, and that just like for me, us like people don't have faith these days, and maybe I don't know. In reality, her husband did die, But what if if it wasn't like, I mean, some people say, okay, death cannot be okay. You person dies. Death can be like I'm sitting here and I'm dead.
Yeah,
that's true.
And
like
soul is dead.
And like what, and you just need that faith, to bring that person back. Just speak life into that person.
Yeah.
So she had the faith to do that. And
I'm just saying this is like real powerful though. Like I'm so excited.
I mean,
carry on.
And I know you want to come back to words like and how did she pick all of us, but I just want to. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
But all of us have so much connection to the Queen, literally. Because Goddess Isis is the goddess of love. And that's just who I am actually as a person, because I literally find hearts every single where. When Eki sent me the information. Yeah, when Eki sent us the information, I was reading Goddess of Love, Goddess of this, and I'm like, Goddess of Magic. And me being a spiritual person, I feel like I'm so connected to this queen, and I'm like, to this goddess, and it was like, wow. Like when we had our first meeting, I was like, it was crazy.
Well, we feel it now, because whatever it is that you ladies got going on, you're taking it with you everywhere you go. This is powerful. This really is powerful. And even, as I'm looking, because you guys are only in the beginning stages. I don't know where this is going, but I just know it's going to work. And I know it's going to continue to flourish. And I just wish we didn't even get to Rashina yet, but I'm just, I'm just wishing I'm claiming all of your success.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Rashina, Miss Beautiful Rashina.
So I represent Queen Amina. She is a warrior queen of Nigeria, North Central Nigeria to be exact. And she's accredited for expanding the borders of Zaria, which used to be called Azazal. She expanded the borders of Zaria, making Zaria the center of trade. And she actually, historically, there's some controversy of when her reign was. Some have it as mid-15th century and others from mid to late 16th century. There are even some historians who don't accredit her as being an actual queen. They say she was a sister of the queen. Technically, she wasn't the older sister, so she was not supposed to inherit. But she was so about that life. She basically, I love it. Queen Amina, she learned from her grandmother how to be a warrior, how to lead, and she took over and she reigned. And she was also responsible for building the earthen walls around houses, cities. Wow. So she was able to cultivate the kola nut, which obviously was a huge crop around that time, and for trade, of course, they didn't have money like we have money now. So crop was your currency, and she was able to cultivate the kola nut for the Nigerian people and for her Zaria people. And the way she expanded the Zaria borders, it was just everyone was just in awe of what she did, and there's absolutely no controversy as far as her accomplishments. Just some timing controversies, but none about her accomplishments.
I just feel so much more enlightened just from hearing the background on each character that you ladies are playing. So I'm sure everyone feels what we feel because it's just what it is. It's the energy. Yeah. So you can get more information on these beautiful ladies, and it's yourqueens.com.
Yes.
It's Your Queens.
No,
yourqueens.com, but their social media, it's Your Queens.
And on Facebook as well.
And on Facebook as well. If you're on MaseTV.com, I've written a feature on them, so you can get more information on them. Just put in search.
Thank you.
We gotta get together because this is what it's about. This is exactly what it's about. I talk about this all the time because I love watching documentaries. I watch this one documentary. I try to tell every Black person to watch it. It's on Netflix. Many Rivers. Really good one. And it chronicalizes our history from the first Black person that was with Columbus on the ship. Oh yeah. And to now, and it's like as you're watching it, you're just like, okay, like dang, like these people, if like say you're an outsider looking in, you would look at it and you're just like, dang, these people went through a lot, and then it was just like, the Black Power movement, then in the 80s was the crack epidemic, then in the 90s, was a lot of those riots. And then they got a Black president. It shows you it's not like, hello, there's still a lot that we have to do. Listen, and I feel like this is it. It's the reemergence of the Black business owner, the Black wealth, the Black Wall Street. That's the solution. And that's where, and when people were all upset about the Ferguson thing, that's the point I was making. I was just like, you yourself be great. That's how we get past all of this. Like, don't just go and continue to be a passive consumer. Get up and don't be afraid to exactly what I tell you to do and make a statement. Be bold, stand out, make a statement. Go sit in some silence. Don't be afraid of silence. Tap into yourself, tap into your inner creativity, and put that out into the world because that's what you're supposed to do. And that's how we're gonna erase all of whatever's in the past. The N-word debates, we're about to just touch on our last two topics before we close out the show. But this is how we solve it. Right here. This is it. She sat in the room and she was like, you know what? She was at a party and she was like, no, like this is my calling. I was in my living room crying because this is what I wanted to do and I just couldn't understand why I couldn't get a job at Hot 97 or Power 5. And so I'm in my living room and I'm crying and I'm just like, God, like why can't this, like I've always wanted this, and I heard his voice loud and clear say to me, do it yourself.
Hey, thank you, God.
And from there I just started writing out my business plan, and 2 years later this is where I am. And no, I'm not exactly where I want to be, but this is the journey. Like hello,
still crying if
Oprah wasn't built in a day. Exactly.
So
I know you got a lot from this.
Y'all got her riled up and whatnot.
But this actually takes us into this last topic. Let's talk about Dame Dash.
Yes.
And what he was saying in this recent interview where he was talking about the difference between a boss and an employee. So we have a little video clip that we're going to get ready and we'll play it shortly. But pretty much Dame Dash and DJ Envy got into a very heated debate because DJ Envy, he works for the Clear Channel imprint. And Dame Dash, we already know he's self-made, whatever. Now, Dame Dash has a way of delivering things.
Definitely.
He's a bit harsh.
He's harsh.
But
around the edges.
Yes. He made a valid point. And especially when it comes to our culture and Black people, Spanish people, we really need to, minorities, we need to really start paying attention to exactly what he was saying. That if you did not put up the money you know, and you cannot literally call it yours just because, you know, you'll work for, you're slaving for some company and they let you buy shares and you get a 401k. Let's actually hear what he had to say. Let's play it real quick.
You don't do that. Everybody at some point. No,
oh, it's okay.
It's up.
Oh, okay. Put it like this. Because you're somebody's boss. No, I'm not somebody's boss. When I was
looks like tie-dye.
Someone wasn't your boss. They gave you an opportunity. Okay. They gave you some work. You go make it, and then you bring it back. You can go buy your own work. You do whatever you want. It's called consignment. So why this can't be all work? This is corporate America.
No, we're not going to do that. We don't have time for that.
I'm telling you. No, I'm telling you why. I'm telling you why. Question. Let me ask you a question. Can you give it to your son?
Tell you what to my
Whatever
shares
you
of this company.
That right there.
How?
Because I own shares of this company.
You bought it?
Yes.
What I'm saying is, can your son eat? Is this yours to give the whole company
this
to you?
company is not my son's. No,
exactly.
It's not mine. But
Wait, stop. Listen. That's not my question. If your son needs a job here, can
he's
you
so
get it?
rude.
No. If your son needs to get some money out the bank from here, some cash flow, can you get it? No. All right. You don't own this.
But I think all right, so that's enough. So now he's so mean.
No, he's not mean though.
But
he's being real.
So what are you guys thinking? You guys from Harlem, and that's that Harlem mentality.
That's that one thing I'm like, why he had to say
yes, because it's where I come
Come
from.
on now. Everybody really comes from
no, but
boss. I'm not gonna say
my mentor says my mentor is from Brooklyn, but she says that she loved going to Harlem because that's where she learned how to make money, make her own money.
Yeah.
There is a mentality in Harlem about, and that was a part of the reason why I didn't want to go to school in Queens. Like I wanted to go to Harlem. Like I felt like, you know, there is a culture of, especially like Black business. Like that was the Harlem Renaissance. Yeah, that was the mecca of all of that. Yeah. So that's where Dame Dash is coming from. Now, granted, he was a little harsh in his delivery. Definitely. It does say his net worth is worth negative $2 million on Celebrity Net Worth, and that was actually because
people hide their money.
Exactly. And I saw Dame Dash a little while ago in Tribeca near my day job. And he was like surrounded by a lot of Caucasian people, so I knew he was like working on another business deal. So he's still doing his thing. It's just
a movie coming out.
I would say maybe meditation, Deepak Chopra, yoga. He should try that. Just because
I don't even think it's that. I think he's just so passionate about it.
I'm a passionate.
So hard.
I get
and some people fall like they really
it's like the Kanye thing.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean make it right. And
it doesn't.
Because of your attitude, you can make people dismiss what you're saying.
Yes. Exactly. I think
Go ahead.
My take on it is he had some very valid points. Definitely. Of course, his delivery was rough, but we're from New York, so it is what it is. Because people tell me I'm rough all the time. I'm just like, maybe you're just extra soft.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I just feel like, I'm just saying, but I just feel like he should, my whole thing is you should give people the options. Like, don't just tell them, this is wrong, you can't give it to your son, get over it. Because he doesn't know if DJ MV has something on the side that he can't give his son. So you can't really fault people for having 9 to 5 and being a worker and not a boss at that moment. Maybe DJ MV won't be a boss until he's 50. You know, you're not really sure. And also, everyone can't just wake up and be a boss. Because everyone can't live that like broke poverty life until they become a boss.
If everybody had a boss, there would be no workers.
Exactly. So I felt like he should at least say, you know what, you take your path and be a worker for a while until you can be that boss, you know?
We have one caller on the line. And caller, I need you to speak really fast because we have like the last 2 minutes of the show. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, Harvey, Mr. Rich at Heart. What is your take on this Dame Dash, what he said about being the difference between a boss and an employee? And we also got feedback from someone online. Mr. Sinclair says, thank you. Thank you, Harvey. Thank you. Shout out to Harvey and shout out to Harvey and the whole Rich at Heart movement. Follow them on Instagram. We are Rich at Heart. We also got some feedback from Mr. Sinclair. He said Dame Dash is a mouthpiece. Bottom line. So
not at all.
He said when you create a polarity to a situation, there's a discussion that occurs, and here we are. I voiced his delivery may have been harsh. So this was actually a really good show. We're at the last minute. I want to thank your queens. Thank you for having us. You guys are amazing. Just thank you. Thank you. Please come back and you know we do a variety of events. If you ever just want to do like a little 5-10 minutes of your queens, please, because that's what Mace TV is all about. We're about.
We would love to feature you for a women's history.
Yes.
Presentation.
That's on your queen code. Yes. All right, you guys. So we will be back the first Wednesday in April. That's April 4th. Okay. So tune in Wednesday, April 4th at 6. April 1st. April Fools. That was the April Fools joke. So we'll be back Wednesday, April 1st with Mace Radio. Don't forget to follow us online at Mace TV. Go to macetv.com for all the latest and greatest in urban pop culture. Follow your girl, Jurasin Ziva. Follow your girl at King Mila with the Y. Alex.212. And it's your queen. Remember, be bold, stand out, make a statement.
Blessings.
Thank you.
That was fun.
I'm feeling myself, you guys.
I'm feeling myself.
Thank you. So pretty much you all just picked the queen.
No.
Or you kind of went with your spirit. Absolutely. I respect that. This is amazing. It is beautiful.
I'm feeling myself. Jack off. Anything about me when he wax off. Wax on.
I gotta come back after you.
I'm gonna be
Shut up, Rashida. Cool it, Mom. That was all classy today. That was all classy.
I know. See, you have to roster, but that's how you feel. They show you. You have a brand.
No, you have a digital pop that's not the word.
Yeah. But I feel like you were always classy. Like I never